Chapter 29. The Case of the Missing Word. The Hell That Has No Name. Jesus is speaking to people in Israel 2,000 years ago, and he says this in Matthew 5, verse 29. If your right eye causes you to sin, pluck it out and cast it from you. For it is more profitable for you that one of your members perish than for your whole body to be cast into hell. The original word that King James translated into hell here is Gehenna. So think about this. Let's say that I am a Jew living 2,000 years ago, and I have no prior knowledge or even the concept of a place of everlasting punishment in my thoughts. Jesus just tells me that it is better for one member to perish than to be thrown into Gehenna. Immediately, I think of the place he just mentioned to me. I look over my right shoulder, and lo, and behold, there it is, the valley of the son of Hinnom. I can smell the smoke coming from it. I know that this place is where the city trash is taken to and is burned. I also know that if you are a hardcore criminal, you could end up facing the most dreaded punishment of not only the death penalty, but after you are dead, your body being thrown into this fire pit. Then mainstream Christianity comes along and makes it just so confusing for this poor guy because they say that Jesus was simply using the word Gehenna as the closest comparison to the place of eternal torture that they later invented. The problem is that no one ever informed him of this news until hundreds of years later, after he was dead. This poor guy thinks Jesus is talking about the real Gehenna and not this new place that was kept secret for so long. It just seems to me that Jesus, being the creator of all things, including us, would actually be able to communicate with us effectively. Doesn't that make sense? Not according to mainstream Christianity. They say Jesus was using Gehenna to explain what that place, the real hell, was actually like. Here is the crux of my point. Where is the real word for that place? What is the place of eternal torture really called? Why was it kept secret, only to be revealed during the good news period, and then not given a name of its own? This is what we call the case of the missing word. Wouldn't it be fair for Jesus to have said, "Hey guys, there's a place in the afterlife that is a place of eternal punishment. If you do not believe in me and ask for forgiveness of your sins and try to live a good life, then you will go there and burn in a fire forever and ever. You will be in torment day and night. You will beg for mercy and receive none. You will cry out to God, and he will only make the fire hotter, and watch you twist and writhe in pain and suffering of the like, in which you have never even imagined before," etc., etc., etc. And the only place you have here to compare it to is Gehenna. So while I am here, I am going to call it Gehenna, because I haven't quite chosen a name for the real place yet. I guess I couldn't blame him for the whole name thing. After all, what could you call that place in one word to accurately get your message across? Hell, I suppose, would work, but Jesus never used the word hell. He used the word Gehenna and never said anything to indicate that he was comparing it to another place. Gehenna was a real place. The people Jesus was speaking to knew all about it. Jesus did not have to explain it to them because they were all very familiar with the city dump. Do you know what they were not familiar with? They were not familiar with a place where God burns people forever. They had never heard of this place, nor did Jesus ever mention such a place. The only other place hell shows up is in 2 Peter 2, verse 4. For if God did not spare the angels who sinned, but cast them down to hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness, to be reserved for judgment. The word for hell here is Tartaros. G5020 Tartaru, from Tartaros, the deepest abyss of Hades. To incarcerate in eternal torment. Once again, right? The definition includes the words eternal torment. Let's think about this a minute. Tartaros is literally the deepest abyss of Hades, which we know is simply the world of the dead. The punishment of being in Hades, or the sentence being served there, is death, which is the opposite of being alive and conscious, not eternal burning flames of torment. Tartaros is simply the deepest part of that place, signifying the severity of the act those did to deserve to be there. Regardless, this place called Hades or Sheol gets destroyed by Christ himself in the lake of fire, as found in the book of Revelation. So the angels trapped there couldn't be tortured there for forever, because this place gets done away with. Even better yet, look at the verse again. The angels were cast there until the judgment. So they were in a place of eternal punishment until? Can you see how that doesn't work? You cannot be tortured forever if you are only kept there until a certain point. This is the only place this word is used in the entire Bible, and the context in which it is used proves that the part of its definition that suggests eternity is nothing more than a conjecture based on the belief of the ones who made the dictionary. So we've systematically demolished every biblical foundation for the traditional teaching about hell. But if there's no eternal torture chamber, what about all those frightening passages in Revelation about the lake of fire? Surely that must be the real hell that mainstream Christianity talks about. In our next chapter, we'll examine this final piece of the puzzle and discover that the lake of fire might not be what we think it is, and that it might actually be good news rather than a threat.